good. Oh my gosh. Good morning,
Ah,
Nasia. What's going on? Hey.
girl.
Oh, so I have a question. Hi, Orange. Abby,
Hi.
do you want me to play some music in the background while we speak? Oh gosh, something's going on. Oh, there we go. Do you want to put music on the background while we speak today?
I mean, we can if you'd like.
I want something
But
a little something something that we won't
a
get
little something, something.
a little something
Switch over the
something. I
screen.
did. I did. I just did.
There you go.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna play some music in the back that I know is not it's copyright free or
Copyright.
whatever, so we won't get killed.
Just end. I was about to say end up muting the entire
Yeah,
stream,
yeah, no, that'd be bad.
but
Um, so how are you feeling about today's topic? I know you are very
am
big on today's topic.
I am very excited. I am so excited. I'm very excited. I have obviously opinions
Very
about
much.
both, but today we're going to be talking about DC versus Marvel, or
Yeah.
Marvel versus DC, just however you'd like to say it. I
I said Marvel. I typed in on our thingy Marvel versus
mm,
DC and media, but we can also talk comics as well.
right.
Um, so before we get started, let me go ahead and we should I should be as transparent as possible. I have not read any of the comics from Marvel or DC. I have some. I have some X-Men comics that I got for free that are sitting on my bookshelf behind me, but I
Mhm.
have like not consistently read any comics. So,
I'm not
I
trying it.
was about to say I'm a mainstream media bitch. That's me. So, I am very much new to, well, not necessarily new, but I am very much a mainstream media bitch. Let's just say that.
Well,
That's my
like
title for this.
when we were discussing what topic we wanted to talk about today, we I kind of called it. It's like you're kind of like a shallow fan. I was like, I don't want to come across as gatekeeping, but you're more of a shallow fan for Marvel versus DC. It's like
Yes.
whatever comes to your line of sight, usually media, live action, things like that, you're likely to be interested in. Well, I'm not a deep fan, but I am a little more deeper than you because I will seek out graphic novels and comic books and unique things to read up on.
Yeah.
But with both of those, their universes are so extensive that I'm just like,
Okay.
well, pick and choose what we want to read.
Right. Let's see. Nazi Justice League animated series is the best comic adaptation, including the MCU. What? Oh, well, that's a first. Morning. Oh, good
Actually,
morning, Monty.
hi, Monty. Actually, Nasium is not completely wrong. The animated series, so there's Batman the animated series, there
Yes.
was Superman the animated series that tied into the same universe, Green Lantern and Justice League all were in the same universe, to the point that Static Shock is actually
Oh,
canonical with those
yeah.
animated series. So I would have to agree. My favorite Batman, and we're gonna put this up here front and center. My favorite character of all time is Batman,
Yep.
Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
I love him to death. Also, Dick Grayson as Nightwing. Oh my god, yes. But it's like my favorite Batman is the Batman the Animated Series Batman. He has a fantastic Bruce Wayne and he has a fantastic Batman. I love them.
What about Lego Batman? I keep saying that, but I'm just teasing. I'm totally teasing. I swear.
I actually haven't gotten a chance to watch Lego Batman
It's
and
cute.
the original Lego Batman games, because my sister has actually got me Lego Batman games for like what, the 3DS or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They actually take on like a very serious Batman tone, like not too serious
It's
because it
cute.
is Lego.
Yeah, it's for
But it's
kids.
like it's an appropriate amount of seriousness for Batman for the first two games. I've heard that the third game emulates the movie Batman, like
Mm-mm-mm.
the Lego movie Batman.
I'm teasing because technically it's still Batman and it's
But
technically
it
also DC. I'm just throwing that out there in media. Um, but let's see. Oh shit. Oh, these are questions for you. Was Kevin Conroy Batman in the Justice League series?
I so I haven't looked that up recently to reaffirm that information, Monty, but I do think Kevin Conroy was the Batman in the Justice League series because they did um try to keep all the same voice actors throughout that little mini universe that they had going on. Um so when what is it? Bruce Wayne would go visit Batman and Batman the animated or Superman the animated series. Um, like they would try and keep the voice actors the same. I even
Mm-hmm.
think that it was the same voice actor that showed up for um Static Shock as
Ooh.
well.
Mm-mm.
But I don't think because technically with Static Shock being there, Static Shock was sent to the future, so Batman Beyond is technically within the same universe. I don't think elderly Bruce Wayne is the same voice actor though.
Mm. You know your voice actors. That's why I'm asking you.
I I know my Batmans.
So I'm just gonna take a step out because I know you love Batman.
Mm.
I wasn't big in the DC universe. I never saw Justice League or whatever. I started my, I guess, superhero ishness
I'm gonna
diving into
let you take
superheroes.
over for just a second because someone just rang the doorbell.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I started, I guess, with the whole superhero Marvel versus DC with X-Men. So that would be Marvel. I think it was in 1996 or 7. They had the first X-Men movie. And that's what got me into Marvel. DC was okay personally, like, but I wasn't into like Batman or Justice League. There was nothing that pulled me, and I loved like animated shows like that, like action ones. I mean, I even saw bits and pieces of the X-Men TV show, and like that was really cool. Also, Mark Hamill was like 8 people in that show. Okay, yeah, Mark Hamill is a fucking, oh gosh, but one of the greatest voice actors. He's so good.
I'm back.
Yeah, we're just talking about Mark Hamill and how he's a great voice
I was about
actor.
to say, my dad didn't realize Mark Hamill was the Joker for the animated series
Mm-hmm. He's just
until
hella talented.
him
Mm-hmm.
and what's his name? Jim Cummings.
Yes.
Everywhere. Both of
Mm-hmm.
them are everywhere.
The first X-Men movie was 2000. Yep. Mm-hmm. Wait,
Yeah.
what is it? Yeah, I think we looked that up
Yeah.
yesterday.
The earliest 90s Marvel movie that I could find was Spawn, which was 1997, and Blade came out the next year in 98.
Oh yeah, and Blade. I loved Blade. We weren't allowed to watch this, but we did it anyway.
You weren't supposed to watch Chucky as a kid, and you did it.
Well, I did anyway. Yeah, that is true. I mean,
Wesley Snipes is amazing. I really like him as Blade.
so I completely forgot that. Yes, we talked about this yesterday. Blade is a superhero
Marvel.
movie, but or not necessarily.
Spawn
superhero.
is too.
Mm-hmm. But I've never seen. I think I saw. Like, I do think that X-Men was my very first. I don't think I saw Blade until after. I don't think I've
that
seen
makes
Spawn.
sense.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the whole X-Men trilogy, or at least, the first part of X-Men, I should say, in the 2000s, that's what got me into it. And I started watching those like a lot. Loved it.
Right?
Yeah,
So
because in all honesty, my kid brain could only equate for DC, Superman and Batman. Because what else did they have? They didn't have much of anything. But I will say the villains in the Batman series was much more, I guess, prominent to
Engaging?
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
there was-
I've always told you this, that DC has the villains, Marvel has the heroes.
Because, like, I love the DC villains. I really, really
Right.
do. I think I know more of the DC villains than I do the heroes,
Right.
which is saying something. But, like, I agree. Like that I can agree to that. Um, wasn't Spawn an Image Comics? Oh, was it? You looked this up yesterday. Oh, right, in Fantastic Four, but we're not going to talk about that
Neither
either.
am I. I'm not super familiar with Spawn myself. I do know that Spawn is at this point a Marvel character, but like you, I don't know its history.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Nauseum, so we can look it up, but I no, I think it is a Marvel movie specifically because I think it has the opening title, like you know how Marvel will have a title card. I
Yes.
think it does have a Marvel title card. I could be wrong. I've only ever seen the movie once. Um, and this was like in passing, probably like 8 years ago. I was
Yeah,
like in
yeah, yeah.
college when I first saw it.
So I'm going to direct us, right?
Yep.
To this question that I have for you. As this is my personal opinion. I felt like in the early 90s to about maybe 2000s, DC ruled like the media sphere. Mostly because of its animated shows. They did have a few Batman movies here and there. I mean, what Batman?
Forgot.
Huh?
Batman with Michael Keaton, which
Yes.
had what is his name? Jack Nicholson as the Joker. The
Mm-hmm.
original one, Tim Burton did this super rubbery looking outfit. Um, was
That's
like
right. That's right.
is a 90 or 89 movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Was that the one with the nip nops on his thing?
No,
Damn
no.
it! I love it. Like a
The
Batman had the nip
nip-nops
nops.
and the anatomically accurate suits, as
What is
Uma
the?
Thurman's what is it? Poison Ivy points out is George Clooney and Val Kilmer's.
I never understood that. Why do you have nip nops on a piece of armor, like bat suit? Like, isn't that what it's supposed to be? I'm just like, there's nip nops, but okay.
I mean, okay, so think about it. Think about it, Ricey. You're a DC Goonie. You're a little henchman for a DC villain,
Mm-hmm.
and you go up against Batman, and all of a sudden you see his nip nops on his suit.
I can't.
What you gonna do? You're
I'm gonna
gonna
stare at
question
him.
it. You're gonna not do your job, so it's a distraction tactic.
Well, I mean,
It's
it
a
works.
technique.
I literally would be staring at it, and I'd be like, "Dude, are you cold? You got them nip nops, just poking through your armor." I'm so sorry. I that was one thing that I remembered. Everyone was teasing about Batman throughout the years, you know, because Batman had them nip nops. Anyway, I think we should go even earlier than that because Adam West was the first televised Batman, wasn't he?
Yes.
Mhm.
For live action, anyway.
Yeah, for live action, right. I remember him being the first. I guess DC Comics took in the media sphere first with Adam West's Batman, like the show.
I think so.
However, yeah.
Mhm.
However, now in this, like, I guess past 2010, well,
Yeah.
we'll say the 2000s because X-Men was really huge, and so was Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. Mm-hmm.
And then Andrew Garfield.
And
This
Andrew
was
Garfield.
actually pretty good too.
I think that now.
Actually, no.
Um,
I think something may have come out around the same time. Is that Hulk had a TV series, live
Oh,
action
yes.
TV series that was something, and Captain America, along with
Oh.
Monty says, there was a Wonder Woman live action as well.
But Wonder Woman's DC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm still saying like DC ruled for a while. A lot of the I guess superhero and media, like the superhero comic stuff.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is now I would say past maybe the 2000s, 2010s with like the Spider-Man, and you know, you have a whole new generation of people loving superhero movies, as well as like now production is off the chain as, you know, years go by. It's just amazing. Movies are everything
Especially
now.
since DC owns Marvel now.
Yeah. And then
Disney, not DC.
Disney. Yeah, Disney does own Marvel. But I think because, well, no, since Marvel created its own like company before DC bought into it, right? They had they just took over everything. The moment Iron Man came out, and then they are like, okay, we're going to do all the phases in the MCU with all of these different characters that we're introducing to you, and we're just going to build up from there. Everyone was invested because, and honestly, it's genius because you're following the comics in, you know, some form or fashion.
Right.
You have a bunch of characters that you introduce who are actually like lovable. The movies itself is good. I'm not going to, excluding Hulk, because honestly with the MCU Hulk, I've tried so hard.
There's the thing. There's 2 Hulk movies,
yes.
and only one of them is part of the MCU.
I don't know if I saw that one or
Cinematic
not.
Universe.
Mhm.
It's the Incredible Hulk with Abomination, the guy that gets really jacked up and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
But
for reasons.
It's not a... It's a Marvel Productions, but it's not owned by Disney. So it's like a separate... I don't know. It's a separate production company.
Edward Norton Hulk. That's the one I saw. Yes. We don't talk about the Edward Norton Hulk. Yeah. It's like we don't talk about...
I didn't mind it.
I didn't
like
I
it. Really appreciated what they tried to do with it. They tried to, like, they kind of gave it like very, how do I put this? Very comic book kind of cuts and lineups with the shots. And I mean, who did it better was obviously Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
But they still tried it, and I thought it worked really well. It was really disjointed, written-wise, but like, that's just me.
The CG ages about as well as the Scorpion King.
Ooh.
Yes. Ooh. Yes.
I have opinions about CG.
We always have opinions about the CG. Oh shit, I lost my train of thought. It was the Green Lantern.
Yeah. Oh.
I was about to say, because that's a DC with Ryan Reynolds. Even he knows how awful it was, because that's a DC
he hated
character.
it.
Yeah, he absolutely hated it. Which is funny, because, you know, when you see him now, because that was DC, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you bring him over to the MC side with Marvel. He loved his like, he's perfect as Deadpool. Fucking love him as Deadpool. But you know, he has fun. Yeah.
It's canon that it's supposed to be Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Like, in the comic books, the writers and authors are like, oh, what does Deadpool look like? Deadpool looks like Ryan Reynolds got pizza face.
And I love it. I fucking love it, man. Oh man, I love it.
Actually, they did something very similar with Ben Affleck. He was Daredevil, which is a Marvel character.
Oh yeah.
And then he moved over to Batman, DC.
Right. Also, I did like the Daredevil movie.
Yeah.
I remember watching that a lot as a kid. I feel like I just watched a lot more Marvel movies than I did DC, personally. And like, going back to my original thought, now that I remember, the Marvel movies, or like characters based in the Marvel universe, just did better to me. And the most, like, in the past maybe 10 years, 15 years? Or 20 years?
The MCU started in like 2009 with Iron Man.
Yeah. So since then, they just held such strong movies. Even before then, because I know Daredevil was before then. And then they had like Elektra, which was not that great, but we already talked about that too. Elektra was just not great. I think it just held stronger than DC, because DC did good in like shows and animated series.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking shows like The Flash. Green Arrow was okay for the first few seasons, and then I don't know what happened. No one knows what happened.
Smallville. that went on for like 8
Smallville.
seasons or
Yes.
so, and they did a really good job because we had Clark, the origin of Clark and
Mm-hmm.
Superman, and was it all the Lana Lane and all those.
Yes, yes, yes,
It
yes.
introduced Lex Luthor very well. I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate what they did with it. And eventually they did introduce like Green Arrow and Black Canary.
Yeah. See, I remember Smallville, Smallville being a huge thing. Like everyone was talking
Mhm.
about it. It was a very big show. They did their shows great. Like
Mhm.
DC, they did their shows really, 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 really well. But Marvel did their movies even better. Like they were just so good at making these movies, um, which I really
I think the
appreciated.
reason for that is that again, kind of goes back to Marvel does heroes, DC does villains, and you need
Mm-hmm.
to like establish the villains for DC. And so you need more than just a movie to kind of do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially with some like lesser known characters. While Marvel is just like here's a hero fighting somebody, happy ending kind of situation.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Because I feel
It's
like
not exclusive, but it kind of falls within that.
right. And like I do remember there are some shows like Marvel shows, right?
Yeah.
That we talked about
X
like
Men, animated X Men.
not only animated X-Men, I remember Daredevil had its show in the past
Hmm.
few years as well. That was really 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 good. So you had Daredevil and you also had like Jessica Jones. I know we talked
Hmm.
about that. Yes, Jessica
Luke
Jones and
Cage
Luke, yeah, like all of
and
that.
Agents of Shield, Agent Carter,
Agency,
like
but
all those.
like they're trying to make up for all of those shows that now, but it was all because of the MCU. Agent Carter, that's right, 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 right. But like it was because the movies kind of set precedent before the shows, and they're like, well, we could do shows now. And the reason why I also brought this up is because WandaVision. I don't know how many people have
Oh my
seen
god.
WandaVision. I know
Have
it's
you
all.
seen the newest episode?
No, not yet. I'm watching it as soon as this is over.
Okay, I will go
Um.
ahead and say this. We do not tolerate spoilers.
Oh, please,
Like,
yes. No, if y'all have seen the recent episode of, or any episodes of the, or just spoilers in general. No
yeah,
spoilers, please. I just binge watched. What was it? WandaVision
yeah.
for the first time. Uh, last weekend, and I'm caught up. Like I'm so caught up. I'm in. I'm like invested. I'm very excited about what they're gonna do. But like shows like that, I know they did Daredevil. They did really, really well. I wish they could do just a step further with shows like WandaVision. And they will. They have Loki and whatever. But I also don't want them to like abandon characters like Jessica Jones or Luke Cage, you know,
That's
behind.
not DC.
No, I'm
They're
talking
not.
that's Marvel.
I mean, not DC. Disney.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
we're
not
both
Disney.
struggling here with words. They're not
Because that was before DC bought them, I think. Not DC.
Disney.
Damn it, we're doing it again. That was before Disney bought them.
Also, by the way, we got drunk last night with
Oh,
friends, so
forgive
it's
us.
just like you can absolutely tell that we're struggling here.
We're very much struggling. Not that I have a hangover or anything, because I was
Same,
smart.
our
But
brains though.
yeah, my brain is pooped today. Um, so we're gonna see us have a lot of slip ups here and there.
Right?
Okay, so my thing is this. So I'm just trying to tell you, like, DC was strong in the beginning. Now it's Marvel that's hella strong now that Disney bought them and they kind of have a focus on what they're going to do. Do you think, as a DC fan, that it will ever live up to the status that Marvel has set out? Because I remember
For live action,
for DC,
with what the
yes,
fuck
the movies.
they're
'Cause
doing right now is not working.
I was about to say
Because
they
they're
did great
dicking
with the
around with
Batman.
shit.
Hold up.
Mm, hold up.
So I remember it was the Dark Knight series. You had the Dark Knight. The
Christian
Dark
Bale.
Knight
Yes.
Rises. Yeah, Christian Bale. This was in 2008. I remember that. Was it a trilogy? It was a trilogy, yes. Did very, very, very well. However, when it came to like Superman and then Batman versus Superman, it fell flat. Batman versus Superman fell flat. I remember watching it, and the sad thing is I don't remember most of the movie. Like, that's what's so sad. I remember I saw it. I remember the ending, or like near the ending, but I don't remember anything else after that. That's how badly it fell flat for me. I guess I just don't remember the movie. And I think they tried to.
Man of Steel that you're talking about, the one with Henry Cavill as
Yes,
Superman,
and Henry
which
Cavill's great. It's great. We've already talked about him as an actor because he did The Witcher, and he's amazing. They just
really good job.
They did him wrong. They did him wrong with that. But anyway, I lost my train of thought again. Oh, right. I think once the MCU, like the whole universe, started picking up pace, DC was scrambling to kind of
and do something
similar with the Justice League. And I think that also kind of felt, well, the Justice League movie it was already out, right? Or are they in the process of making it? I feel like it was already out.
Justice League is already out.
Yeah. They did Aquaman.
No, hang on. Justice League. Yeah, because Batman versus Superman, surprise, Superman dies at the end of it because that's the storyline that they were following. That's exactly right.
Yes. So then, so it's already out. Yeah. Yeah. My thing was, what was it? Aquaman. When they introduced their characters, Wonder Woman was strong. I'm not gonna lie, love Wonder Woman. I saw that movie in theaters, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna talk about the Suicide Squad. Don't even worry about it. We are definitely gonna talk about Suicide Squad.
I don't know about Suicide Squad. I still think Aquaman is probably.
Aquaman they did him dirty. I'm so upset.
Jason Momoa is actually like a good. He's kind of a bro actor, typecasted and stuff, but he's still like a decent actor.
He was but you could tell he was holding so much hope for it. You know, he tried his best, but they just. I'm not gonna blame him. I think he was great, but like, let's just say I couldn't watch the movie full through. It just I can't. I can't with Aquaman. I can't. It's kind of same with Batman versus Superman. It fell flat. And like everyone had high hopes because Wonder Woman was amazing, right? But Aquaman, it couldn't. I'm just not a fan of how unashamedly horny the advertising for. Oh yeah, it was everywhere. Like they were trying their best to. Oh, hold up, we dropped for a second. Are we still alive?
Yeah, it looks like we're freaking out.
Yeah. Are we alive?
It looks like we're still
taking a dump. Okay, good. He missed the last 15 seconds or so. What were we talking about 15 seconds ago?
So we were talking about Aquaman.
Yeah, and how terrible. Hold up. My mic is freaking out. Okay, sorry about that. My mic is freaking out. Aquaman's advertising. Yeah, no.
They pointed that they didn't have him shirtless more, honestly. Like that was like one of my main complaints walking out of the theater. I'm like, why wasn't he shirtless more? Like for real.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. Just pooped out for a second there, but yeah. So Jason Momoa was great. I love him. I do think they did him dirty with Aquaman. I really do. And I think there's always this meme of, Aquaman is the most useless character in the MCU. And then I'm like, oh no, they're gonna make him look cool and be like all nice. Yeah, excuse me. Yes, DCEU. And I'm like, oh, they're gonna make him look cool, and the memes about him being like just there would stop. Yeah, that didn't happen. They just
I mean, it had potential. Kaizane had potential to make him really awesome because apparently, canonically, especially in like the newer graphic novels and stuff,
mm-hmm.
Cthulhu and Eldritch beings, so like those crazy monsters and everything with all
Yeah.
the tentacles and stuff,
Yeah.
he can communicate with them telepathically just like
What?
he can with fish.
Dude,
that's-
nice.
So like, you said you haven't seen Aquaman. That's what he did.
I
Like
haven't
when he's
seen the full
going
thing.
for the king, the trident of tridents, to be the ruler of all like
Sea creatures.
people, whatever.
Yeah.
There's an eldritch being protecting it, and he talks to her telepathically, and then ends up riding her into a fucking huge ass battle.
They could have done so
Like-
much better. And like I feel like
Like-
that's the thing. Just like we spoke to before. I think the villains just make DC. Heroes not so much.
Same.
I just
Same.
Speaking of
Like, the great thing about the one really good thing about Aquaman, other than like he could have been a badass and they just fucked him over,
yeah.
was that, what is it, Black Mantis or whatever, Red Mantis, which is Aquaman's villain. Those scenes were great.
So what do you think was the downfall?
They tried to make it too funny and it missed the mark.
Oh,
Like,
I see.
it wasn't paced very well. Thank you, Nauseum. I couldn't remember.
Also, Nassim said, "Why wasn't the movie just a 2-hour still shot close up of Jason Momoa's torso?"
Right,
That's
same.
that.
Same. Oh, wait, hang on. I need chest and torso and, the occasional butt, because he's got a
Oh.
good butt, too. He got
Like
great
he's a
butt.
good looking guy. They could just and his tattoos and oh my god, he was
Ugh.
great. Anyway,
You good? You good?
yeah, I'm good. We're gonna move
Back
on.
to Earth.
Moving
Back to
on.
Earth.
I see. My thing is, I don't know what they're going to do now. I don't know what DC's going to do now to kind of, I guess, get to that level. Get to the level of.
I think they
What
rushed it with the
Marvel is.
DCEU, the DC Extended Universe. I think they rushed it way too much.
How
to
do you
try
think
and
they'll
do
ever
Marvel.
fix it? Well, they're gonna. Well, first of all, they're gonna cast a new Batman.
I'm so mad. I'm so
Okay, let's see. Hold up. Titans is a good show. Oh yes, Marvel does movie scale productions. DC sort of stuck on CW21 TV show production. Yes, I agree, Zane. I do agree with that. Now we're still with DC. We'll get to Marvel essentially in a second. Why
Yep.
do you not like the newest Batman?
It's okay. It's complicated feelings, and Gracie's just gonna let me
I'm
Vent.
gonna yes, vent. I'm here. I am your
about
therapist.
this, but she knows to keep me kind of on track in case I go a little off topic.
Yeah, because I still want to talk about Suicide
stuff.
Squad.
We have other
and
stuff.
yeah,
So, I don't necessarily per se have a problem with the new Batman, and the one she's referring to is the Robert Pattinson
mm-hmm.
that's slotted to come out soon.
yeah.
I don't know Robert Pattinson's acting really outside
Twilight.
of Twilight.
Excuse me, Twilight. He was Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter.
But right, he
He
barely
was-
had a role as Cedric though.
He also was in that romance movie Dear John. Was it Dear John?
Never watched it. I think you're right, but I haven't seen it.
I feel so bad because it was the film that everyone hated because it wasn't Dear John. It was who was it? Where was it? Pattinson. Let me see. Robert Pattinson's. I'm gonna
I
find this.
personally don't think he has the ability to do what.
Oh, he was in-
DC...
okay. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, DC, unlike Marvel, you have two characters that have to be played by one actor. So
Mm-hmm.
with Batman, you have Robert Pattinson having to play Bruce Wayne and also play Batman. And usually those are very different people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I don't think he has the acting ability to do that kind of polar acting that's required. Because
Okay.
you can see it in other Batmans that Michael Keaton actually did a very good job as both Bruce Wayne and Batman for this movie the movies he was in.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer, though, he was a very good Bruce Wayne. No, wait, hang on. Val Kilmer was a good, what was it? Batman, but not a great Bruce Wayne. While George Clooney was a really good Bruce Wayne, just he didn't have the edge for a Batman.
Right.
So I will give Robert a chance. I will.
So
I
this is
just still don't think he has the ability to do it.
okay. This is coming from the other side. And yes, he was in Remember Me, the weird 9/11 movie that fell flat. But in
Here we go.
his recent films, his most recent films, he did.
The
Oh,
Indies.
hold up, 1 second. Are we back? Okay, sorry.
Hang
It
on.
just showed.
Give it
Yeah.
a second.
Give me a second. It looks like we're here, sort of, maybe. We're
Maybe.
dropping some frames. I'm just trying to make sure that it's all we're good now. We're good. I don't know what's going on, but we're good now. Um thankfully we paused it. So, I was talking about the most recent films that Robert Pattinson is in. I remember seeing him mostly in the horror movie The Lighthouse. And honestly, I was impressed with his role in The Lighthouse. You could tell he's struggling to kind of, or he wants to do more intense movies to kind of shed that, and I agree, to shed the
Twilight stigma.
not the Twilight stigma, but like teen boy fantasy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, he was a teen boy fantasy. And I think he was trying to shed that image. And now he wants to be taken as a more serious actor. Because like I said, he was in Remember Me. He was in all these, it just a lot of movies. But none of them really stuck. Like, or made him spread his wings as a serious actor. None of that was that. Until I saw him recently in The Lighthouse. And that's like a horror movie, which was honestly very good. I loved his acting in The Lighthouse. It was unique, to say the least. It was really interesting as a character there. And then he was most recently in Tenet. And I remember seeing the action like aspects of Tenet with Cinema Wins. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I liked how he was acting in Tenet, just from the few scenes that I've seen him in. And he did action movies very well, which you need to do if you're going to be Batman. And like some of the fighting scenes he did very well. So I'm going to hold up I'm more optimistic. But I also know, and this is what's going to be hard. He's not ever going to shed that teen fantasy image. People are going to always tease him for being in Twilight. Always, And he's got to work extra hard to kind of shed that.
Like, if he actually does pull off Batman,
yeah, and that's a
does
big
it
if.
well, he could shed a lot of it, but he's still, like you said, gonna keep on holding on to that. What I'm also mad about is Zane, I think, was the one that said that, Rob seems a little young for Bruce Wayne. I'm like, well, technically he's only 34. We looked it up. He's
we looked it up.
34 years old. He's actually a very reasonable aged Batman.
Mm-hmm.
On the younger side, fairly new Batman, but that's still
But they could use
a
that.
Batman age.
Yeah.
What I'm mad about is that we had a very, very, very good Batman, in my opinion, along with a Bruce Wayne.
Your
which
fangirl's coming out.
I know.
I love it.
a good Batman and a good Bruce Wayne with Ben Affleck, and they just shat on him because I'm like, you could have started something really good if you had just did him right. Y'all did him so fucking dirty because, ugh, I'm so sad. They could have introduced the Robins. There's rumors
that's what I'm interested
that
in, yeah.
like the Joker from Suicide Squad is actually supposed to be Tim Drake or Jason Todd. I think it's supposed to be Jason Todd. They killed off Dick Grayson, and I'm just like, y'all. Ugh! And like, they had Jeremy Irons as Alfred, and like that dynamic is wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. And y'all just shat on him. Justice League, Batman versus Superman, all of that would have been so much better if y'all had just put in more Batman. Give me a Batman movie. My husband's laughing at me.
He knows. I mean, I've heard your rant. You're a big fan of Ben Affleck's Batman.
He can do it. He can do Batman. He can do Bruce Wayne. He can do the action scenes. They gave us an older Batman with him because guess what? You know younger Batman, Ricey. You know that he doesn't use guns. He doesn't kill people. No, when Batman gets older, he gets cranky and will use a fucking gun.
A cranky old man.
I mean, he does. Like, it's canon that older Batman, and like, there are some there were like exclusive style Batmans that it's just like he uses guns. He starts carrying a gun around with him.
Damn.
So like people are like, oh, Batman versus Superman, Batman uses guns. I'm like, no, he's an older Batman. This is canon. He can use guns. He's still not killing people because he hasn't gotten to that age yet. Because he will.
The age where he's like, fuck everybody. Pew pew. You're dead.
It depends on which adaptation of Batman we're talking about. Most Batmans never get to that point where they actually will kill somebody. It's just something he upholds. Now, Dick Grayson will absolutely shoot someone in the fucking face.
Yes.
But, like, we had really, really great scenes in Batman vs. Superman with Batman. Like, fantastic scenes. And, like, I really appreciated that, and they just took it away. Completely took it away, and I'm mad.
Oh, so he was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck appeared as Batman in Suicide Squad. And
to arrest Deadshot.
Yes.
Yep.
We're gonna segue after your. Are you good with your rant? Do you want to keep?
I'm good.
Okay. Are you good?
I think I got it across.
Your favorite Batman is Ben Affleck's Batman.
I can't even say that because we didn't really get a good opportunity to introduce this Batman.
Yeah, I don't understand. So this is my thing. I do think that DC is going to try and scrap everything, like retcon everything, erase everything, just to build it from the ground up. Take more time in building these characters, but it's the same. It's going to be the same characters over and over
end
again.
Up even further behind Marvel in the process.
Exactly. And like I don't have that kind of patience. They should have done that from the beginning. I'm trying to hold out, hope, but
no, I'm mad too because they could have just. It would have been a bumpy road, but they could have worked it out.
They could have, but I feel like they're just gonna erase everything, start over, and that means introducing all these characters. And do you remember at that period when Spider-Man did that? Spider-Man had 3 different Spidey boys. And like we had to fight for the third one, which was Tom Holland.
Yeah.
We had to fight it because we're like, y'all need to stop doing that. Y'all need to stop introducing all these fucking Spider-Man characters because like it's getting annoying because it is. It is annoying having to introduce the same characters over and over again. Like, it's awful. So I'm glad we still got Tom Holland, and I'm glad he's still part of the MCU, like the actual universe and stuff like that. Because, honestly, people just get tired of that shit. Like, we just listed a bunch of Batmans, They need to stick with one. And for you, it could have been Ben Affleck. They could have
But
stopped
like,
with one.
Spider-Man is a great example because they
Mm-hmm.
introduced him very passively in Civil War, Captain
Yes.
America Civil War. They
Yes.
introduced him. We knew who he was. He wasn't a little side character like Hawkeye or something. We know who Spider-Man is.
Right.
And then he gets his own movie for us to flesh him out more.
Yes.
And I'm like, cool, we could have done that. Batman versus Superman. Introduce Batman. Y'all know who Batman is. It's all good. And then later, give him his own movie and flesh him out more.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, they might do it
No.
with the new Batman and then put in
No.
another character and flesh that out, you know.
No.
But I don't know. I'm trying to hold hope for all the DC lovers out there because, and I'm telling you, there are so many DC fans who are literally like diehards. You need to give the diehard fans something because like by this point it's just like, come on. I'm
Mm-hmm.
convinced they keep doing reboot movies of Spider-Man because Hollywood really just likes to murder Uncle Ben. Yeah, I will say though,
America.
America. Yeah, I will say I did love Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Loved it. And I'm really excited for that one. Um, and I love how they were like they were making fun of the fact that they had like all the deaths, all the Uncle Ben deaths.
Mhm.
So sorry,
Well,
sidetracking.
like the thing is, it's like we know Spider-Man. That's why we didn't get an Uncle Ben death with Tom Holland Spider-Man. Is because we already know that story. We don't
Yeah,
really need to like hash it out
all the
again.
yeah, all the time. My goodness. I will also say that moving forward, I think they were trying too hard, just like you said, it was rushed. They were kind of trying too hard to keep up with the MC universe because everyone's invested right now. Like I said, watching WandaVision every Friday, it's trending on Twitter. Number one trending on Twitter every Friday
Yep. Mhm.
since it came out. Um and DC needs to step its game up to get to that level. And I don't know, I'm not going to say it's irredeemable because I don't, they could make it better.
If they just sat down and fucking did it.
Right. Now, speaking of Suicide Squad,
Mm.
again, I couldn't watch the full movie. I
Mhm.
tried. I really did. They had good characters.
Yeah.
Like I loved the concept of these characters. However,
Yeah.
uh I don't know what happened. Was it the writing? Maybe like it was trying too hard to be it was trying too hard to be just like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because Guardians came out, what, 2 months before that? And they, like, oh,
Yes.
they're doing the same thing we're doing. We gotta make it funny. And then they completely reshot so much. of the
Yes, they
movie.
did reshoot a lot of things. Oh my gosh. And I remember that was a big concern for fans.
Mhm.
Like there was a huge concern for fans. Um Suicide Squad on the back end was apparently a pile of random shots by multiple directors that had to be edited together. Yes, in
Mhm.
the end. I remember there was a lot of controversy, I guess, around
Yeah.
the movie. Which, of course, if you have controversy in a movie like that, it will either like make or break you. You know, you either, oh, wow, this controversial movie will be either very, very good or very, very, very bad. In this case, it was very, very, very bad. However, they took one character that everyone seemed to love, which was Harley Quinn, and gave her her own, but not really her own, movie called Birds of Prey. And I did actually watch Birds of Prey. Oh no, would I? I don't care. I'm probably one of the few people who actually liked it, but I did like it. It was a very
Like, it's a lot of people liked Birds of Prey. It's a very popular movie. Like, a lot of people like it because I haven't seen it yet. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it.
Mhm.
Um,
It's a
that's
very
usually my
much
problem. Is like I just like, oh, I want to see it. I don't get around to watching it.
no one wants to admit they like it, but loads of people did. I know, and like, okay, it was a very much girl power action movie. Let's just straight up girl power action movie. But what made
Yeah.
it was the character Harley Quinn.
Hmm.
What's her name? Who's the actress for her?
Margot Robbie.
Yes, she was amazing.
She's
I
a fantastic
oh,
actor.
she's
Going
so
back to
good.
Suicide Squad, her
Yes.
scene in the elevator, she did that without wires and without a stunt double. She did that herself.
She's amazing. Like her, she
She's
just in
Mhm.
general is amazing, and I love her. Her Harley Quinn, like how she took Harley Quinn's character, made it her own. Fucking love that. And I didn't think Birds of Prey. I watched it on an airplane. Let me just go ahead and tell you. I didn't have
That's fine.
anything else to watch, so I was like, might as well just watch it and see what, why people hate it so much. And then I
Yeah.
walked away like, why did people hate it so much? It was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. I loved the villain who he was scary but also very charismatic, and like the way he could flip that was terrifying for me. And I was like, ooh, this is good. This is some good shit. I liked it.
Hmm.
And I can see that they had fun making this. And I think it was
Hmm.
what, one director who made this? Like they
I mean,
focused on one particular
that's
character
what
and
happens. Like if you like stepping outside of Marvel and DC, if you look at the history of movies that end up having multiple directors that juggle things around, it's always terrible.
yeah.
It's always terrible. Like, was it The Adventures of Little Nemo? That's a disjointed piece of fuck ever.
Okay.
Whatever. Also, Nightmare Before Christmas. It was struggling between
Oh yeah.
Henry Selick, I think is the director, and Tim Burton, and you can kind of tell that the disjointedness of it was like you can see where there are major flaws because
Hmm.
of that. So like when you actually have one director, or like unfortunately, let's take a look at Mandalorian. The first season of Mandalorian has
Oh
six
yeah.
directors, but you had a lead director and Jon Favreau as the executive producer that made sure everyone was going in the same direction. So it can work. It's just like you gotta communicate.
Yeah. I will say Suicide Squad.
Mm,
I don't know if
mm.
they're ever gonna bring it back. Probably
I
not after what
I
how
think
much
they
of a
are.
shit show.
I think James Gunn, who did Guardians of the Galaxy,
Oh, is that
like
right?
who they were competing with and trying
Right.
to emulate, they got James Gunn to do it because James Gunn, after the second Guardians of the Galaxy, got fired
Yes.
because of some old tweet from about, I think at this point, about 12 or 13 years ago, that he has never shown any inclination to like repeat or have the same mindsets. Disney fired him. DC's like, cool, we're gonna take you. Hired him for Suicide Squad. Dave Bautista, who's shit, what's his face? The gray dude. No. Drax. Who plays
Yes.
Drax in
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Is like, cool, you fire him, I quit.
Right.
So he quit. A lot of people went on strike about James Gunn getting fired.
I
And
remember.
so they brought him back on. That's why we're not getting a phase 4 or a Guardians 3 in phase 4 of Marvel. Because he's like, cool, I already am working on Suicide Squad. Y'all are on the back burner. So
Shit.
we're gonna, I think the earliest, like, we may end up getting a Guardians 3 in phase 5. And phase 5 isn't really projected to start until like 2023.
Damn.
So we're gonna have to wait. I'm expecting it probably maybe 2024 or 2025 is when we'll get the next Guardians.
Shit. Shit. And I love Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, I remember
Yep.
when that was the thing and everyone was losing their fucking shit.
Mm.
Let me take a moment to read chat. I'm telling you, my brain is all bleh. Um,
Bleh.
Monty says, I suppose you could argue that at its core, Suicide Squad is a fun movie, but it did feel like DC was trying to follow the successes of Guardians of the Galaxy. I do agree. And that's like, I think it has the elements of, well, Nauseum says, I think it has the elements of being a fun movie, but is executed like a mess. Also agree. It plays out like the first Star Trek movie. We have a bunch of already filmed material. Let's cut it together and call it a movie. Also agree. I still remember with Suicide Squad, everyone was like gritting their teeth because they didn't know what to expect by that point. There were so many news outlets saying, oh, we lost one director, we gained another director, back and forth like that and stuff like that. And then I remember as well, who was the Joker? He was the guy who was in
Jared
30
Leto.
Yes, 30 Seconds to Mars.
I
Guy,
have
right?
so many people hate him, like as an actor, as the
A person.
Joker, and like personally, I agree with them about the Joker. I don't know Jared Leto very well outside of that. I think he was a
know
really
him.
shitty Joker, though technically he is not the Joker. He is supposed to be a variation of the Joker. He
Right.
is someone that has been corrupted by the original Joker. That's why he's younger.
Mm-hmm.
Because the original Joker is supposed to be slightly older than Batman. And we know
Right.
Batman is Ben Affleck. So
Apparently he's a massive creep. Oh no, he's just in general just strange.
I've heard some things.
Yeah, I've heard some things
about-
like I know he's a weird person by trying to start a cult or a religion based on him. I've heard several allegations about him and women that will just
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I don't necessarily I don't like him. It's just like this weird thing I get. There's something about him. He's just a creep. A massive creep doesn't even feel like it scratches the surface, if that makes any sense.
Right. Because it's like what he was doing, quote unquote, method acting and like leaving dead animals in like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn's trailer and doing that to other cast members as well. And it's just like that's
rumors. These are
not
rumors, but
okay.
Yeah, no,
like no,
he's
these were reports. These are
Oh,
actual
shit.
reports.
Yeah, no, he's weird. He's fucking weird, man.
Now, if we go to Heath Ledger, who was the Christian Bale's Joker,
Oh, rest in
Still-
peace, Heath Ledger. Oh,
right? Not
so
my
great.
favorite Joker, but for the universe of The Dark Knight, I think it worked very well. He did method
well.
acting too,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't do all that crazy ass shit.
No, but he did method acting, and I did think that it caused him to kind of. And like method actors, you have to have that balance. I don't think that's why I could ever do method acting. It's dangerous in my mind because he did do method acting, and he was very much the Joker, but it also caused very, very bad things in his mental health as well. That and everything outside of that as well. So
There were, yeah, I was about to say, he already had mental health problems.
mhm.
It just got, it
Worse.
was exasperated by the method acting for the role,
Yes.
that specific role.
Do you do have to ask if you've seen it? Thoughts on Birds of Prey? I liked it. So this is my
I was
thoughts
about
on
to say,
Birds
I
of
haven't
Prey.
seen it, so you can take
Okay,
this.
right. So this is my thing. Again, I heard the bad, like everyone was talking about how bad it was and blah blah blah. I gave it a chance because I was sitting in an airplane for a certain number of hours, before the whole pandemic thing. And I was like, I'll just watch it. Let's see what the dealio is, right? Saw it, and I was like, wow. Birds of Prey is what Suicide Squad was trying to be.
Mhm.
Because you had a character you know and love, which was, Harley Quinn. And they introduced all the other characters. They introduced the Huntress and Black Canary and like all these other characters so well. And it was like a buddy cop movie without being like a buddy cop movie. It was really good. I was very impressed. And I genuinely think that's what they were trying to do with Suicide Squad. However,
Suicide Squad was too busy.
Yeah, no,
It was way too busy.
But I think it got a lot of hate for reasons I don't think I would ever understand. there was I heard some complaints that, oh my gosh, this is what I remember also seeing, but of course I ignored them because, you know, but I did see some sexist remarks. Why is it all females? Not a lot of the guys want to see because it's mostly female, right? It had a mostly female cast. And not a lot
Right.
of people wanted to see that apparently. And I know that
My
was a minor thing, but yeah, that was a
I
complaint I
remember
saw.
hearing about it and that like a lot of people liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like a lot of people liked it, and those who didn't like it were just asshole bros,
Mm-hmm.
jockheads, and stuff like that. It's just like, oh,
Ah,
she's not that pretty anymore. She's
yeah.
really
Why
become
is this
really
character not pretty?
humble.
And I'm just
And
like,
it's
what are
like
you?
I don't like her haircut and things like that. And it's just like, I like what?
Like the
This isn't your
Huntress.
movie.
Mine was
This
like,
isn't your
well, the
movie.
Huntress and Black Canary shouldn't look like that. And I was like, what are you talking about? What do you think they should look like? And because both of them have very interesting features in comic books, let's just say. And I'm like, just stop. Nauseum. A lot of the hate was Comics Gate dorks. Yes. Yes. And I think, and this is my thing, even if it was so successful, it would have just paved the way to give Suicide Squad another chance because the director of the film did very well with it. I was very impressed. And I remembered watching it and I was like, okay, of course there are some bad things with the movie. I'm not going to deny that. It's not perfect, but it wasn't shit terrible in my personal opinion. It wasn't. It was very good. Um
Like I looked up Black Canary from uh Birds of Birds of Prey, and I'm like, cool. She's not your stereotypical Black Canary. She doesn't really look like our because this is a actress of color. It seems like Black Canary is usually blue-eyed, blonde, white woman. And I'm like, okay, cool.
yes.
I'm not mad with what they're trying to do with her.
Mm-mm.
Like, honestly, it's not something I'm used to, but knowing the aesthetic of Suicide Squad and what Birds of Prey are supposed to be,
Yes.
she works great, actually.
Very much. I don't know.
It was been-
I was impressed. And then again, I went in with low expectations. So if you go in with low expectations, because I honestly bought into the reviews of people just shitting on them. Then when I personally watched it, I was like, oh wow, I'm actually surprised they didn't
Hang on,
really.
I
Oh,
think
hold
we're
up,
dropping
yeah.
frames.
Oh no. Oh shit, something's wrong. It keeps flashing red and yellow.
We still there, guys?
Yeah, I'm typing in right now.
Okay, I see you.
I It keeps cutting in and out. It just flashes red and yellow. I think this is Twitch. I don't think it's my internet. Okay. I'm gonna cut off and then go back on.